Hurricane Idalia is soaking a large part of the southeastern U.S. today. We'll have the latest. And increasing concerns about the health of Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell after an appearance in northern Kentucky earlier today.
And summer is not over just yet. We are tracking more warm temperatures to kick off September. Those details on the way as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Hurricane Idalia made landfall this morning around 7:45. The National Hurricane Center says the storm came ashore on Keaton Beach in the Big Bend area of Florida on the Gulf Coast. Further south, Rob Wells of our sister station WWSB takes a look at what the storm did in Bradenton.
Out here along the Bradenton Riverwalk, we've been dealing with the wind all morning. Now we're combining that with the rain. High tide about 12:30 this afternoon. Folks out here at this beautiful pier area, they're checking out the damage, taking a lot of pictures, and seeing a lot of rain out here. The force of the rain has really brought the water up here and a lot stronger onto the actual Riverwalk area. A lot of folks out here with their kids, the kids playing in the water, just trying to sample what's going on and what was left after Idalia moved through. This is a beautiful kids park out here that was just finished recently. It feels more like a sponge out here. So much water in such a fast amount of time. Again, if you are coming out, be careful. Not a lot of traffic in downtown Bradenton. Folks staying safe and definitely heeding the warnings. From now in downtown Bradenton, Rob Wells, now back to you.
All right, thank you very much from one of our sister stations there in Sarasota. That's in the Tampa Bay area. Rescue crews have already begun arriving on Florida's Gulf Coast in response to Idalia. It is the strongest storm to make landfall in Florida's Big Bend region in the past 125 years. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has issued an emergency declaration for 49 of the state's 67 counties. Storm surge has flooded roads in Sarasota. This footage was posted by the Sarasota Police Department, who said it showed flooding at St. Armand Circle near Sarasota Bay. Sarasota police said flooding could worsen this afternoon as a bridge connecting St. Armand's Key to Sarasota's bayfront remained closed. Lots of flooding all across the west coast of Florida today. Hurricane Idalia's impacts are stretching into southern Georgia now. Satellite imagery of the storm shows the scope of this hurricane. Late this morning, the storm was downgraded to a Category 1 with maximum sustained winds now down to 75 miles an hour, so just barely a hurricane. Forecasters say damaging hurricane force winds are now pushing further into Georgia and will eventually move into South Carolina. A group of Kentucky Baptist relief workers will head to Georgia Thursday to help feed hurricane victims. A group will be leaving from Lincoln County with a large mobile kitchen that's capable of preparing thousands of meals a day. The group will consist of 50 people from all across Kentucky. They will be partnering with the Salvation Army.
But I know that people will be hurting, and any time in a disaster, there'll be people hurting, and that's what God's called us to do, is to go and help them.
The group will likely be in the area for about 2 weeks. Kentucky's electric cooperatives are sending relief to the Hurricane Idalia storm zone. Kentucky Electric Co-op officials say they are sending manpower, trucks, and debris clearing equipment to South Carolina. Crews from 3 Kentucky Electric Co-ops began driving down to South Carolina this morning. 8 more electric co-ops from the Commonwealth will leave tomorrow morning, this time for Georgia. Nearly 500,000 people at last check are without power right now in Florida and Georgia.
Well, the big story in the weather world is Hurricane Idalia, but closer to home, we are tracking a fall preview across the mountains on Wednesday, also into Thursday. Here's a live look from London to Hazard to Pikeville. The big story, those below average temperatures, middle to upper 70s out there as we close out the month of August. How about that? We are dry under a partly sunny sky, and most of us right now in the middle to upper 70s. 78 in Clay County, 73 for Pikeville, also Hazard, and down to 70 over in Wise. skies at this hour. Up on the radar, we are dry, but we are cloudy, but those clouds also going to decrease as we go into this evening, also as we go into tonight. And a chilly night is on tap across the mountains. Those lows falling into the middle and possibly lower 50s as you wake up and walk out the door on Thursday. And the forecast is looking absolutely gorgeous on Thursday, but more heat is on the way by Friday, also into Labor Day weekend. Those details on the way in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. There are more health concerns surrounding Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell today after a news conference in northern Kentucky. And we want to show you exactly what happened.
What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
yes.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator Benny.
Yep. Go ahead, outside, son. Come with us. Okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
What efforts is Daniel Cameron going to have to make on the campaign trails when Kentucky's over in November?
Senator Daniel Cameron, do you have a comment on Daniel Cameron?
Well, I think the governor's race is going to be very close. He's far and away the best candidate we could have nominated. And our state has become increasingly Republican. In fact, the governor's the only Democrat left.
Clearly another concerning moment for the senator, speaking today during a news conference at the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce Government Forum. The senator had a similar episode, you'll remember, just about a month ago on Capitol Hill. A McConnell spokesman says the senator felt momentarily lightheaded and paused. An aide says while he feels fine, he will consult a physician before his next event. Pineville independent school officials are looking to raise their tax rate, which has not been done in more than 6 years. The rate for the 2022-23 school year is 71.7 cents per $100. Pineville Independent is looking to raise it to 77 cents. Superintendent Russell Thompson says improvements to school facilities and athletic fields is needed, and this would give them the opportunity to do that.
Average homeowners, say you own a home for at $100,000 in Pineville, the difference would be $53 in your tax rate. So that's about $4.41 a month and about 15 cents a day that they would be paying more this year.
Thompson also says there will be a community meeting tomorrow for anyone wanting to learn more about this. Voting on the proposal will take place September 7th. Magoffin County is celebrating history, bringing together the community for a Founders Day festival. The annual event kicked off today with food and more behind the Magoffin County Historical Society cabins in Syersville. The opening ceremony is tonight at 6, officially beginning the 3 days of fun at the festival.
We have various pageants, we have pet shows, we have school activities, and this year we're having music and a square dance, so it's just a fellowship of all Magoffin Countyans.
Founders Day events continue through Saturday. Hear more about the county celebration coming up at 6. But next on First at 4, one American manufacturing giant agrees to a settlement over earplugs for our troops.
And temperatures are below average for now, but more heat is on the way. Those details coming up after this break.